Hi guys, I'm here today to explain the how and why of packing your swaps. The first thing I'm going to recommend is getting a scale. You won't have to go to the post office. You're not relying on them. It saves you time, it saves you money. It's just so much easier if you can weigh your swaps yourself. You can use a food scale, but most of them are 1 pound or 3 pounds. Which if you don't ever ship anything that's heavy, those are okay. And the reason I have this type of a scale is because we do eBay shipping, and I had to have something that weighs heavy boxes as well, and this will weigh up to 75 pounds, and it's digital. It did come with a plug, but my kids lost it, so it's got a battery in it. They sell these on eBay. You can get them right around $25 to $30 shipped. You can buy them at Sam's and other places. They're usually quite a bit more. If you're lucky, you might find one at a thrift store. So my first recommendation would be to get a scale so that you can weigh your packages. My second recommendation would be to open up a PayPal account, because if you ship through PayPal, you get a discount. You can print labels from the postal website as well. They don't have now this is the last time I went on the postal website. They do not have first class mail parcel, which is what we're basically going to talk about. I'm going to show you the differences between some priority mail and how we ship. So I don't know, you would have to go on to the postal website and see. Now what I would also recommend is that you go on to the postal website and look for their price list. This one was updated July of this year, 15, and I printed out, they have different sections, but I printed out the first class mail section, which is how we pretty much are going to mail our swaps, and it gives you the weight and the ounces and then the price. For first class mail, distance doesn't matter. If you're shipping priority mail, it does. The only way I would recommend shipping priority mail is in a flat rate envelope, which I'm going to talk about in just a second, for anything that's over the weight of first class. Now you have first class, obviously you have letters, and then you have what they call flats, and it's just the plain envelopes, which you're not going to want to send your swaps in a flat, because flats can't be rigid, they have to be flexible, and they can't be thick, they can't have bumps, they have to be flat, like if you're mailing a piece of paper or a stack of paper or whatever. This is not going to be what you're going to need for your swap. You can mail this first class parcel, which I'm going to explain, but not as a flat. They call this a large envelope or a flat. Okay, now the difference between this and the way we ship, these are like a padded envelope. 13 ounces or under, it can go as first class mail parcel. Okay, same thing with the flat, as long as it's not over 13 ounces, but you're not going to be able to ship your swaps as a flat. You can put them in this, but you can't ship them as a flat. They have this little thing they have to slide through, and like I said, they cannot be rigid, they have to be rectangular. There's a lot of differences between a flat and then the first class parcel. Now, first class parcel would be, you would pack your swaps in one of these others. You can use this, it's just not as protected. And it's basically, what makes it a first class parcel is if it's rigid. Okay, and normally I'm going to show you what I do with mine to pack mine so that the cards don't get all mangled. 13 ounces or under. And it doesn't have to be rectangular, and a first class parcel can go in a small box. As long as it's the 13 ounces or under, it can go as a first class mail parcel. Now, the prices, let's see, let me fold this up so you guys can see what I did here. First class, like I said, distance doesn't matter. It's the ounces. 1 to 3 ounces is $2.54, and then as the ounces increase, the price goes up. So, 6 ounces is $3.14, 10 ounces is $3.94. Your maximum 13 ounces is $4.54. Now, this brings me to the next thing. You are going to want to first pack your swap in your envelope, which I'm going to show you, and then you're going to want to weigh it and get your weight so that you know where you're at. Can you ship it first class parcel, or are you going to have to go priority? Now, priority, most of the time, if you calculate priority, unless it's something really, really lightweight and almost nothing, you're going to want to ship it in a flat rate envelope. If you print these out on PayPal, they're, I think, $5.05, because PayPal does not separate the flat rate, which is like this cardboard, or the bubble. You can use the bubble, but when you bring up the menu on PayPal, it just says flat rate and it charges you that one price. If you go to the postal website, it's going to ask you, is it a padded, which is this one, or a regular? Okay, the padded ones on the postal website, I believe this one, are $5.70. If you take them into the post office, they are $6. Let's see, $5.70 and $6.10, I believe, is the prices. So you have your swap packed. If you're over the 13 ounces, say you're 13.2, you might want to look in your swap and see if there's something that you can remove from it, like maybe you had extra cardboard or something in there that you can take it out to drop it down to the 13 ounces, because the first class mail parcel is going to be cheaper. If your swap is just way over that, you know, 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, or whatever, you might want to consider then shipping priority mail in a flat rate envelope. And like I said, there are exceptions. You can ship regular priority mail, but sometimes when I've done it and I calculate it for regular priority mail or the flat rate envelope is going to be a better deal. Unless it's someplace really, really close, and like I said, if it's a really lightweight item, you're going to be right at the border of spending the same amount of money, you know, shipping in one of these, packing your swaps in a regular envelope and sending it priority mail. This is going to be more than if you just go ahead and pack it into a flat rate envelope for the $5 whatever. Still going to be cheaper. You can order these on the postal website. If you go to, they have a section called Order Supplies. It's free, and they will send them to your house. So most post offices, you can't pick a lot of this stuff up at the post office. You have to order it. Okay, so that's easy. I'm trying to keep you guys out of the post office so that you know what you're doing by yourself and you don't need them, because they're annoying and we all hate standing in lines, especially when it gets busy. This way, you pack your swap, you stick it out in your mailbox, and you put your flag up, and then you're done. Okay? And it's also easy for your return shipping, which I'm going to show you that as well. So consider opening up a PayPal account. If you don't have one, you can link it to your checking account, or you don't have to. You can just put money into your PayPal account from your checking account so that they're separate. If you feel funny about that or whatever. We personally have been dealing with PayPal and eBay since about 1997 or 1998. Anyway, I would definitely recommend getting a scale so that you can weigh. If you don't have anything to weigh your swaps, you either have to guess or you have to go into the post office. So the scale is really important in what you do. Now, if you're only going to do one swap a year or 2 swaps a year, you're not going to want to invest in a scale. Just take it to the post office. But if you're like me and you're doing swaps every month, it's just so much easier to invest in the scale. It'll pay for itself just in the gas and the time, probably in the first 2 months you swap, because you're not going to be running the post office, and it just will save you so many headaches to have a scale. I'm going to put a link below to an eBay seller that I spoke with, that he has scales in stock, and I don't know, I didn't buy mine. I've had this one for probably 5 years, but I'm going to put it down there anyway. Okay, and then like I said, PayPal, you can go to PayPal, open an account. It's very, very simple. You don't have to have an eBay account. You can also use PayPal to pay for, if you go onto the postal website, you can also use PayPal to pay for that. Now, what I have on here is I have where you would go if you're going to print a label in PayPal. You go to www.paypal.com/shipnow, and it brings up a shipping window and lets you choose either postal service or UPS. If you don't have a UPS account, I don't believe you can print a label. I have a UPS account through PayPal, but anyway, you would choose the mail one, and then it brings you to the mail portion of the PayPal shipping. Okay, Now, as far as packing up your swaps, let me show you what I do. And you don't have to do some of this, but I'm going to show you. Sometimes if you have cards that you don't want bent, you can make a little package like this out of cereal box. This is a Cheez-It, and then you can put your swaps in there, and it keeps them from being bent, and then obviously you would slip them, into your padded envelope, and it keeps them from getting mangled. If they're not, like if they're really flat or whatever, you could just put a single piece of either, cardstock, or sandwich it between some cardstock if you're trying to keep the weight down. You can put just a single piece of this in there just to keep it, flat. So then you would pack your swap. Obviously you're going to put it and you're going to weigh it, see where you're at on your chart. Can it go first class mail, parcel, whatever. Go into PayPal, print your label out. And then, let me show you what I do. This is what your label will look like. It'll come out on your sheet. You can use actually sticky labels if you want, but I just use a piece of paper. Now, I cut off this portion. This is my tracking and where it's going. I cut that off of here. And let me show you what I do. The sheets that they give us on the Project Life Card Swap Organizer, you print these out, and normally I print them out double on both sides, but for this swap I didn't. It gives you the hostess name and their address and everything, and this is like my brain basically, and I have a notebook that I put these in. It tells you who the swap's going to, what it was, how many cards, whatever. And if I sent them a hostess gift, I'll usually write that down on there, and then when I get done, I mark it done. But I take those receipts when I get them, and I staple them in here. I staple both. I staple the label that I'm sticking on my package that's going to be my return label, and I put their receipt so that I have both. And what I do is, this first one obviously is going to Teresa. When I have my label, the one that's underneath, I will put her name on it just in case they get mixed up. So there's the one going to her and the one coming back to me, and then the rest of them and so forth. But all of my swap information is all together, all in one place. I don't have to look for it. I don't have to wonder what their addresses were. It's all right there for me. Okay, so I would cut that, show you that. Alright, now, here's the part that makes it easy for them. Once I have my return label done, and I do that just like I would basically when I print out their label, I put the weight, and I usually send a hostess gift, so my weight typically coming back is going to be a little bit less. Most of the time I will put the same exact weight. Whatever I printed their weight for, however their envelope weighed, if it was 10 ounces on my return label, when I print my label for myself, I will put 10 ounces. And then like I said, I print out their label, and I completely cover it with packing tape. It's completely covered. And as long as you don't bump up your packing tape on your barcodes, you're okay. And we've been doing this I've been shipping stuff priority mail with the post office myself for 10 years, and I've always taped over the labels. People tell you not to do that, but it keeps your label nice and clean and waterproof, and it doesn't go anywhere, and it's permanently attached. Alright, then I will take a little piece of saran wrap. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that saran wrap. I'll take a little piece of saran wrap, and I'll cut it about an inch bigger than my label. And my label that's coming back to me, I'll cut it right to the edge. That's the one coming back to me. When I do the label, I got these in steps. Anyway, so I will put the saran wrap over the top of that label so that it goes about an inch around. Alright, and then when I cut their label, I will leave some space around the outside of the label, and I try to line this label up looking underneath to make sure that it's pretty much the barcode and everything is right on top. And then I will tape completely over this again with my packing tape. And usually what I'll do is I'll take a permanent marker and I'll draw a line around the outside. And I always send them a note. They all know from me that that's what they do. But when they get it, they will lightly cut on that black line. And then they can peel their label off, and they can peel the saran wrap off, and there's my return label. It's already done. They don't have to do anything, and it's just that fast for them. They have a lot to do. They have a lot of swaps to handle, and if I can make it easier for them, then this is what I do. There shouldn't ever be a question about the shipping amount. I already have a tracking number. Actually, I have tracking numbers for both. And it's all there and it's done. Simple, just as easy as that. I can tell you that if you take your packages into the post office now, they are doing free delivery confirmation on like a first class mail parcel. Now when I've done it, I have to ask them to do it. They don't like to do it because it's kind of a hassle. But if you ask them, they will do it. That's if you're using stamps. And you know, if you have a scale, you can still do that at home. You can put your stamps on. The scale is really the most important thing out of all of this, is to have some way to weigh your swap so that you know what you're dealing with. You know exactly what your postage is going to be. If you have your printout from the post office, you weigh your swap and you can go on here and you can see exactly what it's going to cost. And then you know how many stamps to put on it. You can put stamps on the return as well, you know. Alright, I hope this all made sense. I'm trying to break it down, do it quickly, not talk too much. If you have any questions, if you need any help, you know, leave me a message and I'll be glad to help you or answer any questions you might have. I hope this made sense. If it didn't make sense, please let me know. If it helped you, leave me a thumbs up. And I thank you guys for watching, and good luck.